Sobriety doesn't open up the gates of heaven to let you in. It opens up the gates of hell to let you out. When I decided to eliminate alcohol 10 months ago from my life as a dry challenge with my brother on our 44th birthday, we wanted to do it because we wanted to work towards getting in the absolute best shape of our lives by the age of 45 this September, this year. And at that time, I was so excited. I was like sick and tired of being paranoid and ashamed of like the way that I would behave after I had a few drinks. And I mind you, I wasn't like drinking a lot, but I just didn't like the way that alcohol made me act in front of others. I didn't like the types of choices that I made when I was on alcohol or under the influence. You never make any good choices when you're under the influence. And so I was absolutely ready to take this challenge on. And I envisioned at the time that it would have made my life easier to completely eliminate it. I was actually excited thinking that, life is going to be so much easier once I get rid of this. But in actuality, it hasn't gotten easier or better. Life is just as hard, if not, harder than before. Work is busier than ever. I'm still dealing with the same issues that I deal with my ex, still also trying to cope with the unfairness of the legal situation that I'm in, the financial stress, the pressure that I'm under because of the arrangements that I have, and then also trying to do all of this while being a great parent to my kids, while also trying to think about or find the time to even start thinking about what does the next partner in my life look like? How am I going to meet the next woman that I'm going to be with? Just trying to juggle all that. It's freaking hard. It's difficult. So, after 10 months, I realized that like eliminating alcohol doesn't make your life better or easier. What it actually does is it actually makes you better. I've been getting better over the past 10 months in terms of having a better mood, being able to sleep more, having more energy, and having more mental clarity to just face the enormity of life's challenges after a divorce. If anything, like eliminating alcohol helps you find your strength again to just continue fighting, because it's not going to get easier from here on out. It's just going to get more challenging. So I'm sharing this with you today because I noticed that there's this growing trend in this world about people who are becoming sober curious. So if you haven't heard about sober curious, this is a movement of people who are now really starting to cut back their consumption of alcohol in order to explore their relationship with it and, get a better understanding of when they're actually using it in their life, which is pretty interesting. 10 years ago, this was not a thing. Like, it was just very awkward. If you were the sober one showing up at a party, people would just question, well, why are you doing that? Like, it's not New Year's. But this is no longer a New Year's trend. It's becoming such a trend that the non-alcoholic beverage industry is one of the third largest growing segment in the world. It's currently valued at like $16 billion. And it's growing about 7% year over year. So, if that tells you something, like, there's a lot of people in this world who are trying to improve themselves. And if you're going through a divorce and you're trying to find a way, you're on this personal development path and you're trying to find a way to get stronger in order to deal with your life's challenges after divorce, this might be something that you might want to explore. So, if this is something that interests you, let me just share with you some tips and tricks on how you can get started on this journey. For me personally, I'm either 100% in or out. It's all in or nothing. So for me, I guess I was very fortunate that I was absolutely sick and tired of feeling embarrassed and ashamed of how I felt after a night of drinking. And so it was a little bit easier for me to just completely cut it off. It was the exact same way that I cut off cigarettes and weed in my life too. I was just absolutely sick of it. And it made it easier for me to quit cold turkey. But if you need to go down the moderation route, which is what a lot of people are doing, actually now is the best time to do it, because there's so many non-alcoholic alternatives that you can use. So it's no longer one of those things where like you feel awkward going out with your friends or going to a party where you're just drinking water or like soda water with lime. You do have like alternatives. There is, non-alcoholic beer and wine. In my experience, out of both wine and beer, non-alcoholic beer seems to scratch the itch a bit better. If you ask me, like, non-alcoholic wine for me just tastes like grape juice and expensive grape juice at that. But if you are going to try, especially non-alcoholic beer, the craft breweries actually do it really well. When I've tried some of the major brands like Asahi or like Peroni, non-alcoholic, or even Corona, you could really taste like the corn syrup that they put in all these additives versus craft beer. Yeah, it's kind of like hoppy water, but it actually gets very close to the flavor of craft beer. If you like a pale ale, hazy, or even a Pilsner, it actually tastes really good. So if you are going to go down the moderation route, there's many great alternatives, even mocktails at restaurants that they're making. And it's very exciting to see the growth of that segment, in restaurants and in bars, so that way you can still continue to go out and be social, talk to people, which is also another healthy way to build your mental wellness, and also get out in society and possibly meet that new woman that you're trying to meet. So that's one tip I'll share with you. The other tip that I'll share with you, and I mentioned this in numerous videos, if you have a fitness program or if you don't have one, try to start building your physical wellness by lifting weights, going for a jog, doing some sort of physical activity, because as soon as you start building momentum, it's almost like the accountability partner that you've never had before. All of the gains that you've made will easily be destroyed by having a couple of drinks. And after you go through that cycle, that's what happened to me. Like I was going down the moderation road before, and every time I had a couple of drinks, I would just start to gain the weight again, and it made it very difficult to lose my belly. So if you're looking for a way to make it stick, especially if you're going down the moderation route, try adopting a fitness program, whether that be going to the gym, going hiking, playing a sport, whatever the case may be. Do something physical so that way you can start to slowly see some gains, which gives you momentum to stay on this path, but also holds you accountable, because then, if you start having a drink, you'll see how it affects your gains and actually detracts versus contributes to your life. So those are really two of the tips that I wanted to share. But what's interesting, again, this is a trend that's growing in the world. And especially if you have gone through a divorce and are finding it very difficult to face the enormity of the life's challenges that is in front of you, that's not going to go away. Going down the road of being sober curious or even trying full sobriety might be an option for you. And so again, I'm not an expert. If you actually do have a legitimate addiction, I do suggest that you seek professional help. But if you are like me and are always curious about different ways to implement different personal development practices, doing like some sort of dry challenge or being sober curious might be very beneficial, especially if you're going through a challenging time. So I hope this message finds you at the right time. If you've had some great success and also have some tips that you want to share with others on how you've been able to cut back on alcohol or completely eliminate it from your life, I'd love to hear your stories and your experience with that. It's been a life changer for me. And 1 year from now, at my birthday, yeah, I'm going to have a drink. But at that point, I'm going to be in a better position to decide, when do I want to do this again? And do I want to drink in the same way that I did before? Or am I going to change it up and have a new way of managing it? So I'm very excited for that chapter this September. So thanks for watching my video. Have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out.